Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and I'm going to do a little bit of an overdue RiD review here. This is the Warrior class Jazz. It was around this time last year that I actually gave this guy to one of the scraplets, and he survived pretty much a year. I thought he was cool then. I still think he's cool now. I've been really surprised by this RiD line, and we're going to check this guy out in all of his glory in the latest GotBot True review. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Mullen, aka GotBot. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, check me out everywhere. Have a look at Machinery Man, the Everything Factor. Spend some time on the channel and see what catches your interest. Some interesting things actually are coming down the pike really soon. Not the least of which is the impending start of my stop motion series, season 1 of Universal Collision. That is on the way. Anyway, this time we're focusing on this guy. I already kind of gave him an introduction. He is not mine. He belongs to the scraplets. And he has survived the scraplets. Says something about the way he's made, because sometimes those guys can be a little bit hard on their figures or toys or whatever. And I dig this guy. I really do. This is a line and a series that I think has brought us some really interesting engineering and transformations. Everybody from Quillfire to Fracture to Thunderhoof. You know, the list goes on and on. Here he is next to Bisque. You know, you can see how they look together. You know, here he is next to Quillfire, who, for the record, is the exact same thing as Scatterspike. I looked at this guy in episode 123 a long time ago. And Jazz comes with this lance thing, I guess. I'm not big on his weapon. You know, he can... I don't know if it's a blaster per se. Like, he can... I don't know. I don't really dig this thing. It can also peg in on his back, kind of like a sword. There is a lot of white on this guy. He could have used a few more paint apps, especially on the rear end of vehicle mode. I really do think. And I believe and I could be wrong, correct me if I am, but I believe the Transformers Adventure version of this guy actually has a blue visor. I would have liked that rather than the individual blue eyes. Not that it's a bad head sculpt, it's just... I don't know. I think it could have been a bit better. That's all. Still, he looks good. There's no mistaking that it's Jazz. There's no doubt about it. He does have the door wings, but to be fair, if I'm not mistaken, on the program he has his door wings. A lot of times I've talked about the Classics Jazz and said that I opted for this guy. This is the Fall of Cybertron Jazz. And I opted for this guy because they don't have the door wings, and the original animation didn't have door wings. You know, I mean, it is what it is. You can see how they look together. Obviously different aesthetics, but of course you see a lot of blues and whites, and that makes perfect sense. Paint apps for this guy, they're pretty good, not perfect. I'm going to give him a solid 8 because there are places that could have certainly been improved for animation accuracy. Actually, I'm going to say 7.5 to be honest with you. It's definitely Jazz, but it could have been a bit better. Articulation, well, the head goes left and right and looks up and down just ever so slightly. The arms, I love this whole shoulder assembly. I love this whole shoulder assembly here and how it's like, almost like it's on a disc. I love that. And that can go way out. The arms can go way out to the sides. I mean, that's great. We have a nice 90-degree, maybe even slightly over 90-degree, might be 92-degree, maybe not, maybe it's 90-degree. Elbow bend. We have bicep swivel. The wrist can hinge in for transformation, but hey, they still do it. No waist, but that's really because of transformation again. Put the arms out. The legs can go way out to the sides. That looks great. They can go all the way forward. Because of his roof, they're somewhat limited in their backward motion. I mean, you can take it out to the side and get it back. It's only because of kind of where the roof sits. Nice 90-degree knee, tight bicep, or not bicep, thigh swivel. And the toes can tilt up like that. Really, it's for transformation, but it does it. And he stands quite solidly, to be honest with you. So I dig it. I do. I really do kind of dig that. I like him. I like his articulation. That is a solid 8.5, I think. It's pretty great, and he can do most things. Waist swivel would have been nice. That's the only thing really kind of keeping him down. Ankle rocker obviously would be nice, but how often do we get those on, you know, Warrior Class, Deluxe Class figures? Not that often. Let's jump into the transformation. For those of you who are actually keeping score, this guy right now is scoring about a 7.75. And it's because the paint isn't that great. Not because he's not a great figure. 7.758. Transformation. So where do we begin with this? Well, you can kind of pull the hood back and flip the toes up like that and bring the feet together. And you can bring the feet together because there's a series of interlocking tabs and stuff. And that's kind of where things currently stand. I love this too, by the way. The shoulder pieces sort of hinge under the hood piece. And I guess they kind of hinge under the hood piece, and that's what locks them in. And you wouldn't think it'd be secure, but it really is. So we bring that up over and we snap his head down into it. We take the arm sections here, and this is what I was talking about. You turn them like this and like this. So now the shoulders are, the red pieces on the shoulders are facing toward the hood of the car. And you should be able to now hinge up this shoulder hinge here to bring forward the front fender. Just like that. You can take the door wings and bring them down. We're getting ready shortly to tab all of this together. You fold in the fists. You turn the forearms. No, you leave the forearms as they are. The fist should be facing down the same way that his head is, to be honest with you. And now we have him looking like this. Not quite right, because those arms are way out. So now we need to start tabbing everything together. I would begin by tabbing in the roof, then tab in the doors, and finally bring down the shoulders and fenders just a little bit. And after you do that, you'll notice that up under the top part of the hood there are two slots. Well, there's a tab right here and a tab right here on his forearms. They go in underneath and should tab up. Oh, once I get those down, and they just tab up like that. And we make sure his feet are indeed folded up, and boom, there's Jazz in vehicle mode. He looks, he looks pretty good. He looks Jazz-ish. It'd be nice if there was a bit of red deco on his hood. I believe the show did have that. It'd be nice if the headlights were maybe painted a silvery color or a yellow or a gold. The back of them really sparse here. We do have a couple of red details up right there on the spoiler, but way back here again, no taillights whatsoever. Still, he looks good, he rolls great, and then you can always take this lance thing and put it right there, like, you know, have it face that way, or you could turn it around and have it face that way like he's a jousting vehicle. It's a pretty great transformation. And if you do something wrong with them, like I kind of stumble over shoulders a little bit there even, but if you do something wrong with them, it's so very easy to fix. So I like it. I think his transformation is a solid 8. It's pretty great and it's not too hard. The biggest travesty of this guy, I think, is that we have a back windshield molded in here and no paint. You've done the windows on the side of the car and the front of the car. One more black paint app on the back. I guess you could do it yourself, but what a shame. It should have already been done. Still, minor gripe, and if you don't care about, you know, paint apps, then I guess it's not gonna bother you. Overall score for this guy, I think he's a solid 8. He's a good figure, he's a good jazz. If you don't have a jazz in your collection, he's a pretty great representation, if not a bit stylized, to match the RiD line. But I was pleasantly surprised with him. He's fun, he's innovative, and after all, isn't that what we're looking for in our toys? At least for our kids, and for those of us that are collectors, come on, we both know that we all like a little bit of innovation. Anyway, that's it for this guy. Thanks for dropping by, thanks for giving me some of your time, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together for another visit right here inside the videos.